All right, so I am going to share my screen and we started. So, first, let me say thank you all for joining and welcome to Relocating to Tampa Bay. What you need to know. My name is Mel Bunn, and I am your host today. I have crafted grafted a few slides for you to tell you about the experience and what you need to know, what you can expect when moving to Tampa Bay. All right, so let's see here. Can you all see my screen? Perfect. Do this here. I need to actually have you on this screen. So let's try that one more time. And then we will get started. All right. And we are going to. Here we go. And now I will share my screen. There we go. All right. Again, thank you all for joining the Relocating to Tampa Bay webinar. What you need to know before you move. Again, my name is Mel Bunn, known to most as Mel, and I am brokered in Florida by Power Real Estate Group. All right. All right. So this webinar is for buyers considering a move to the Tampa Bay area, out-of-state buyers who want clarity before starting the search, buyers deciding between areas and home types. What you will leave, my promise to you is that what you will leave knowing is how to identify the right Tampa Bay area because baby, let me tell you, it is completely different. How I know? Because I've gone through the process myself. What makes Tampa different from other markets? What costs to consider beyond the purchase price? And common relocation mistakes to avoid. I am here to help prepare you for your move to Tampa Bay. And if you're not even considering the move, and it's just Tampa's on your market, well, let me tell you, I have some information for you. First, the first thing I want you to do is tell me where you are located. Tell me where you're checking in from. Are you in Florida? Tell me where you're checking in from because I want to know. Okay, New York City, Jacksonville, Florida. Okay. All right. Well, listen, thank you again for joining, and let's get right back into it. Let's get into it. Who am I? I am your host, Mel Bunn. I am licensed in both the state of Florida and in North Carolina. I have 19 years of industry experience, both as a mortgage loan officer. I was a mortgage loan officer for a couple different banks. I've actually been an underwriter, a mortgage lending underwriter. I have been a mortgage loan processor. So I know the industry. I know the industry, and I did it for so long. I managed branches for different banks. I've been in compliance. I've done a lot of things, but a couple years ago, I decided to move to Tampa Bay. And 4 months after living here, I decided that I love this area so much that I wanted to become a realtor. Um, again, I told you I'm from North Carolina, but I did not have my real estate license when I moved to Tampa. 4 months after being here, I love the area so much. I went ahead and I got my real estate license. And then I leaped right on in to learning about Tampa Bay because it is not. If you have visited, if you have family here, and that what has prompted your decision to move. So go ahead, tell me why you are joining. Tell me why you're joining this webinar tonight. Do you have family here? Are you considering the move? And if you're considering the move, what made you consider the Bay Area, the Tampa Bay area? Military? Okay. Family? Yeah. And you know what? Me too. Me too, Carmen. I am just like you. I did not have family here. I decided to visit Tampa, and then 2 years later, I was living here. I had not expected work. Yes. I didn't come for work. I work came after the decision. But moving here has definitely been one of the greatest experiences of my life. I am an empty nester. My youngest child is 26 years old, and my kids have their own life. And I felt like it was time for me to do something for me, and that's how I ended up here. I left my corporate job. I um, completely 1,000% in real estate. I told you I've done a couple of different things on the banking side. I've of course built my own home, bought and built my own home, and I've learned how to do it um as the buyer. I've sold homes as the bank, as a lender. I have underwritten homes as the bank, as a lender, and I have managed a team of mortgage processors. What that means is that means I know exactly what questions you're going to have because I've gone through it for my first time home buyers. I've relocated here for those who are considering relocating, and it's not your first time buying a house. I've done that too. Um, and then I know the questions that you might have, the worries, the fears that you might have when you're thinking about buying a new home in a new state for your first time. So I am here to help you with that and answer as many questions as I possibly can about home ownership and buying a home in Tampa Bay. All right. So why people are moving to Florida, why people are moving to Tampa Bay. Baby, let me tell you the first one, no state income taxes. I did not even realize that when I moved here, but I do know the difference in what my salary, my bring home salary changed when I moved here. No income, no state income taxes, year-round warm weather, and outdoor lifestyle. I think this year, someone said they saw snow flurries in Tampa Bay. I did not have the luxury of seeing those because it's not a luxury for me. I am from sweet old Eastern North Carolina, and I am used to and have seen enough snow for me. Now I'm not from up north, but I've seen enough snow for me. Um, so I think now this will be my fourth winter here, and now the first year I think we got down for a couple of weeks. We maybe got into the 50s, and I because I wasn't used to the 50s in January or December, February, I still wore sandals. And I honestly, for the most part, I still wear maybe shorts and a sweatshirt. There might be 1 or 2 days where shorts and a sweatshirt are not appropriate. Um, Access to beaches, waterfront living, and outdoor activities. If you are a beach bum, if being on the beach is your thing, Tampa Bay is the area for you. Depending on where you live, the beach could be across the street. It could be 40 minutes, it could be an hour. Um, Obviously, there are other things. There are parks here. There is outdoor living. I will tell you this. I came from the Raleigh, North Carolina area, of which I do not think that there were things to do there. I told you I'm a realtor there as well. But here in Tampa, there is always some outdoor activity going on. There is always some outdoor activity happening, whether it's with your family or your friends. There's always an activity happening. Strong population growth and continued development. Tampa, I've seen so many articles where that says Tampa is amongst the fastest growing cities in 2026. Tampa is continuing to grow. Now is the perfect time to buy your home in Tampa because everyone thinks with the market, interest rates are going up. So some people think, is that the right time to buy? Because rates are really high. I want to wait until rates come down. We don't know when and if rates will come down. Um, but if you buy your home and they do come down, there's always the option to refinance. But if the as Tampa continues to grow, that means that the value of your home will continue to increase. This is why I say it's a perfect time to buy because Tampa is for sure going to continue to grow. All right. Tampa has a mix of urban, suburban, and master plan communities. You can live downtown Tampa. If you want to be a little bit further away, but not far away, you can move over to the Riverview, the Brandon area, which is still gives you very um, a suburban feel without being in the urban space of Tampa, downtown Tampa living. But also, you would have South Tampa and Hyde Park are places that are very right there and give you the urban feel, but still suburban, living in a suburban area. More space and value compared to many other major markets. 100% you could, depending on where you are choosing to live in Tampa Bay, get more space for the value of the home. But we will get into that, I promise. All right. So Tampa and Tampa Bay are not the same thing. When I have these conversations with people who were born and raised in Tampa, it blows their mind that us implants did not know that there was a difference between Tampa and Tampa Bay. Baby, if you knew, I did not know. When people say that they're moving to Tampa, they are often referring to the entire Tampa Bay region, not just the city of Tampa. Tampa is a city within Hillsborough County. Tampa Bay includes many communities such as these that you see on the screen. And these are not all it, these are the counties. And some people, whether implanted or not, don't even recognize that Tampa Bay does include all of these counties, but it does. Many relocation buyers begin their search in one area and ultimately purchase in a different Tampa Bay community because not one, is the same. The cost of living, what's different in Tampa Bay? What many relocating buyers expect. You guys, me at one point included, expected lower overall costs compared to where you're moving from. Here's the thing. Not always is that the case. Depending on if you're moving from upstate New York, if you're moving from California, this may be the truth for you. Homeowners insurance can be higher and vary significantly by the property and the location. Flood zones matter. Some homes require separate flood insurance. Not all, but some. I mean, you're living in Florida and on the coast. Um, Monthly payment based mostly on purchase price. That is absolutely not the case. CDD fees are common in newer communities. CDD fees, we'll get into a little bit later, but these are paid in your property taxes. They are not paid monthly. Property taxes are based on purchase price, which property taxes can increase after closing. That is not separate and individual to Tampa Bay. That is buying a home. And what I realized after buying a new construction is that oftentimes we don't know that. And there are realtors who don't tell you that. Well, I am not that realtor. I'm going to tell you everything because because my job is to be upfront and keeping you informed and knowledgeable of the home buying process. All right. So, um, tax estimates may differ from the previous owner's tax bill. Don't go into closing and see what the previous owner paid or knowing because you will have to pay some of those depending on when you actually close on your home. Don't expect that that would also be your property tax bill because it may change, very likely will change. Um, Insurance costs can vary significantly by property. I mean, that makes sense, right? If you are living on the coast, if you're living in a waterfront property, you expect that your homeowner's insurance is going to cost a little bit more because you know flood insurance will definitely be a cost factor. Your total monthly cost depends on location, not just the home price. All right.
Thinking about moving to Tampa Bay.
Um,
Tampa Bay?
Okay. You know what? I'll let you hear this. If you don't follow me on YouTube, this is one of the videos that I posted on my YouTube because I feel like you should. I do a lot of community tours and home tours, and I want you to see what the possibilities are for you. So I don't know. Let's see. Let's go back.
Thinking about moving
Here we
to
go.
Tampa Bay. Moving to Tampa Bay? Think of moving to Tampa Bay? Before you start looking at homes, you should understand how this market actually works. How to choose the right area, what to expect at different price points, how to approach the process if you're moving from out of state. That's exactly what I'm breaking down in the relocation webinar I'm hosting this Wednesday. So you can move forward with clarity before.
Okay. So before you pick a house, pick your lifestyle. Do you want urban, suburban, waterfront, or small town feel? Because the lifestyle should drive the home search, not the other way around. Because many times I've experienced this in the past, you feel like waterfront is the best place for you, or you feel like being in an urban area is the best place, but then you get in the urban area, you realize the traffic in an urban area is going to be a lot heavier. So you should definitely know what lifestyle is important to you. What kind of daily commute are you comfortable with? Highways can, depending on the highway, can be, commute time can be daunting, you know. That's with any major city. Work location can dramatically influence the best areas to consider. What amenities matter to you? Beaches, golf, walkability, dining, parks, and entertainment. I had one of my buyers say, I want to be in a community where there is a lagoon. Is that important to you? And what size lagoon is important to you? There's one in that video. I actually did a video. If you go over to my YouTube, and the lagoon is 10 Olympic sized pools in size. That mattered to this family. They wanted a lagoon. Out in Parish, they're building a lagoon out there that's a little smaller, but it's about, I think, 4 miles long, expected to be 4.5 miles long. Depending on, but these are places that are not near the Tampa. Remember Tampa, we're talking about the city. So these are going to be places that are a little bit further out from the city. So if a lagoon is important to you, you wouldn't want you're not expecting to be um in downtown Tampa or downtown St. Pete. But if you're downtown St. Pete, you're going to be closer to the water, closer to the beaches. So all of those things matter. Um, do you prefer newer homes or established neighborhoods and communities? New constructions and established communities can be very different experiences. And here's the thing though, thinking about it like this, like in San Antonio, out where this huge Olympic 10 Olympic size lagoon is, they are still building. There are different phases to that community. If that lagoon matters to you, you can get a resale home or you can get a newly constructed home. So again, it really does matter what's important to you, what's important to your family. But if you move to San Antonio, you're not necessarily going to want to work in like let's say Riverview, because that's going to be a longer commute for you on the highway. You're not going to want to live downtown Tampa and live and work in New Tampa. The distance would just not work. So these are things that you have to consider. I mean, it could work if you like to spend time in traffic. It could work. So that's completely up to you, but these are things that people need to consider before moving here. Um, how do you want to spend your weekends? Your ideal lifestyle often helps identify the communities worth exploring. If you are someone who likes to be active and whatever is happening, we have the Hucks Dixon Park out in Tampa, downtown Tampa. If they are always and forever having something there. If you live in San Antonio, you're probably not going to want to be a part of that. There's always like I said, there's always something to do in Tampa. And the further you get away from it, not to say that you won't have things in your particular town, but keeping in mind, remembering that Tampa Bay is the region includes a lot of different counties and towns. So there may not always be something going on, but if you are a person who likes quiet, then Tampa probably wouldn't be for you. All right. So home prices can vary significantly depending on the location, right? The same budget can buy very different homes. Waterfront communities often command premium pricing. Newer construction pricing varies by community and the builder. Now, if you don't, some people don't know this. Let's say there's a builder, most builders build the same home in different communities, in different towns. Depending on that town and that community, the exact same home could cost a different price. hmm I've seen it. I've seen it. I have witnessed it. I have toured a home in one part of Tampa Bay and toured the exact same home by the exact same builder in a different part of Tampa Bay, and the price completely different. I'm sure there are probably some differences to the home too, but the floor plan was the same. This is why you need to have a realtor representing you, because you probably wouldn't be going into, if you are dead set on New Tampa, you're probably not going to go over to, say, Parish and look at that home, you know? But me as your realtor who has clients, buyers all over Tampa Bay, I would know that. So, yeah. Okay. So, Lisa, yes, your realtor is there to not just negotiate on your behalf, but my job is to represent you. My job is to negotiate for you, but also to advocate for you, to make sure, because the buyers, when it comes to new construction, the builder's contract is meant for the builder. They're not meant for you. What that means is there could be, for instance, a situation. Well, just keep in mind that, and I don't, because I don't want to go too deep into different contracts because it varies depending on builders. But the end of the day, the builders, their contract is designed and built out to protect the builder. Your realtor needs to be able to read that contract and advocate and negotiate on your behalf. All right. Community amenities can impact home values. Ah, a 10 Olympic sized pool lagoon is definitely going to impact your home value, would you say? School zones and locations influence demand. Uh, absolutely. Absolutely. If you are my client and you say, Mel, I don't have a specific, I work from home, so there's not necessarily a community that I prefer over another, but the schools matter for me, then I find your home based on that school. You can Google the best schools in Tampa, but you're not going to know them all because there are so many. And then on top of that, you might find the best school in Tampa, but are you going to know where to search for everything else you're looking? Because the school zone is your priority. But what else? There are other things that matter. Maybe it doesn't matter to you as far as entertainment or waterfront. Maybe those things don't matter to you. But as your realtor, I'm supposed to present things to you and put in front of you that do matter, that you might not have thought about, such as an open concept layout. Yeah, maybe having an open concept isn't the number one thing on your priority list, but when it comes to being and spending time with your family, maybe you haven't thought about it and it's bigger priority than you thought. Um, so similar homes can have very different prices depending on where they are located. 1000%. I just told you, new construction, a builder could absolutely build the same property in a different location and it costs a different price point. All right. Commute times may be different than you expect. Distance on the map doesn't always reflect the drive time. I'm here to tell you right now, it does not. I have been late. I I apologize for that. Um, when I first moved here, I felt like I was late for everything. I felt like I was late for everything because I had no idea. I feel like if I plugged it into my GPS, it's going to get me there at the time that I said. But baby, let me tell you right now, it does not. Because especially when you are on these major highways and corridors, you don't know what the traffic's gonna look like, and there's probably gonna be traffic. um so I-75, 275, and major corridors can become congested during peak hours. They could become, I don't know what is considered peak hours because they do seem to be congested quite often. Work location should influence where you begin your search 1000%. The right home is not always the right commute. Don't, this is what I tell clients. I know you want to go out there and you want to start looking at new construction because it's a Saturday, you have the day off, and you are thinking about buying a house. Now, let me go on over here and look at these new houses. Don't go over there and fall in love with the house because your cousin's aunt lives in Wesley Chapel and you have accepted a job in a different in a different area. So now you are gonna go and look in Wesley Chapel because that's the area that you know. Um, you accepted a job in USF in Tampa, and you want actually you want to be at the lagoon. You want to be at the lagoon and but you accepted a job at USF in Tampa. Big mistake. Don't go searching for homes and falling in love with a home in Lutz in Odessa and you got a job in Parrish. Don't do that. Because you fall in love with the home and then lo and behold, you have an hour drive to and from work every day. That's not the life that you're gonna want to live, and you're gonna quickly fall out of love with the home that you fell in love with. The right home is not always the right commute. Some buyers choose location over additional square footage because of obvious, the further you are away from the city, the bigger your home might be. But is it worth it? And let's see, property taxes, insurance, HOA, and CDD fees. Property taxes, Florida property taxes are not the same for every homeowner. Why? Because they are not the same for every home. Taxes can change when a property is purchased. I said that to you a minute ago. Don't expect your property taxes to be the same as the previous owners because they will not be. Insurance. Costs vary by property and location. We've talked about that. Flood insurance may be required in some areas. We've talked about that. That's to be expected, though. You're talking about moving to Florida. Some communities have no HOA. Some may have amenities and corresponding fees. Some might have both. CDD fees. These CDD fees are common in newer communities. CDD fees help to fund infrastructure and community improvements. Those are not paid monthly, they are paid in your property taxes. New construction versus resale homes. New construction, builder incentives may be available. Right now, in this market, you are likely to get builder incentives. Most times, builders will have their incentives for a certain 30 to 60 days, and they will tell you about them, what they are right now. So, and that's a lot of times if you're thinking about, if you go into a home and they have homes that are going to be completed in this certain length of time, and you use their preferred lender, you can very likely lock into those. Sometimes I've seen builders incentives be interest rates lowered. I've seen them give 10, 15, $20,000 towards closing costs. Um, New homes often include builder warranties. I've not seen any new homes that don't include builder warranties. My job is to make sure your home on a new construction includes a builder warranty. Resale homes, established neighborhoods and mature landscaping. That's typically what you find in a resale home. Wide variety of locations and home styles because there are going to be a lot more resale homes on the market and available than new construction. Existing market history and community character. And what that basically means is there's more data on what the community is like than on a newer constructed area, which again, in many of these newly constructed areas, there are also resale homes in those areas. So there is community data, but not always. Again, that's where your knowledgeable realtor comes in. All right. So the whole point of this, buying from out of state, initial consultation to identify goals and target areas. That is what you do with me. We should have initial consultation to identify your goals and your target areas. What areas have you lived in? What areas does your uncle's cousin's sister live in that you have fallen in love with? And does that make sense for your commute? Virtual home tours are available. That is what I do. Because I am a relocation specialist, I do virtual home tours for my clients. The expectation is not that you are going to be here every weekend while we are in the home buying process. Lender, insurance, and local resource connections. I absolutely have multiple lender partners that I connect based on your specific situation. And what I mean by that is first-time home buyers. Someone who is newer to the buying world may need a lender that's a little bit different than someone who is on their second or third property or investment property, even. Electronic signatures simplify the process. You don't have to be here, but I haven't met a buyer yet who doesn't want to be here and get the key in their hand on closing day. But it is a possibility. Most of the transactions can be completely remote if that is what you require. All right, common relocation mistakes. Choosing a house before understanding the area. I just talked to you about that. Your uncle's cousin's sister's brother lives in San Antonio, and you have fallen in love with that lagoon. You work in Hyde Park. You work in Brandon. You work in Riverview. Never gonna work. Never gonna work. Unless you like spending time in your car in sitting in traffic. Underestimating the total homeownership cost. We talked about that. What's included? You have to remember your monthly payment will not just be include the purchase price of the home. Your homeowner's insurance, your HOA, your amenity fees, all of those things will be included in that monthly payment. Excuse me. Waiting too long to connect with your local professionals. That's me. That is what I am here for. Don't You can go and go over down to that new construction, that new constructed community and fall in love with the home and then later find out that you needed to talk with a professional because you're under contract, or a realtor, real estate professional, and you're now under contract with the builder and you don't understand the terms of what you have been told or what is happening. Because when you're under contract or you will lose your money. Um, Assuming all Tampa Bay communities are the same or similar, because they are not. Go to my YouTube page. Making decisions based solely on internet research. Don't do it. It could cause you way more of a headache than you think, because no community is the same in Tampa Bay. As a matter of fact, you could be in one part of a community in the same town and go just a half mile up the street, and things look completely and are completely different. All right. So, thinking about moving to Tampa Bay. Um, Here, this is my contact information. I am also going to put a link to schedule a consultation in the chat. Click on that link, schedule a consultation. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about um, even if you don't feel you are ready right now and in this moment, but you know that you are planning to move to Tampa Bay. Um, then you want to talk with someone. You want to get some time on my calendar so that we can get you started. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what needs to happen to get you in your home by the time that you want to be in your home. And So we're going to go over to Q&A. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and then let's see if you have any questions for me. I will give you some more time to get my contact information. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get this chat open so that I can, oh, there we go. There we go. Give you the link to book a consultation. All right, Q&A. What questions can I answer for you? Is there anything that you would have liked to have seen? I mean, that's what this Q&A for. If there's something I could have answered that I didn't answer. But right here on the screen, you do see my phone number. You also see my email address and the website. My website will actually show you all of the homes that are listed on the market. I will show you that since I'm still sharing my screen. If you go to my website, which is melbunnrealtor.com. And hold up a second, let's see if we can switch these out. If you go to my website, melbunnrealtor.com, you will see, oh, well, hold up, let's do this. Can't follow that way. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. If you go to melbunnrealtor.com, not only will you be able to schedule a consultation with me, you can search for homes. If you know what you're looking for in the town that you're looking for, you can search here and it will allow you to type in the area that you're looking for. Yes, and it's going to ask you to put in some contact information for me. But also if you scroll down, it'll show you those properties that myself or someone in my firm has listed. These are properties that we currently have listed. If you go down further, it pulls up the areas that I'm not going to say that I only work in because I work in all of these, but I work all across Tampa Bay and beyond. But these are the areas that I tend to focus on or have the most clients in right now. There's no rhyme or reason for that. A little bit of information about me, some of what you can read for what my clients are saying. But then again, here you can put in your contact information and I will reach out to you. Okay. Are there any questions? Well, guys, I definitely want to thank you for taking the time out of your Wednesday afternoon and spending some time with me, letting me get to know you, you getting to know me. And if I can help you, me or my team can help you in any way, then I certainly hope that you will reach out. If I can answer any questions, make sure that you get, you can email me any questions, you can call me with questions, but if I've said something that made you think that I can help you on the next chapter of in your life with buying your home, definitely feel free to reach out to me and get on my calendar. Thank you guys. Enjoy the rest of your night.